Oh, hi, welcome to another 24-hour vlog. You know what, I should have set up the timer. Whoops, whoops. At least I had the timer app up, and I usually only use my iPad timer for this. It's fine. It's fine. The only other thing I use it for is time lapse. And then have that big in front of me when I film and read with these. It's fine. It's fine. Anyways, last month, beginning of June, like first day of June, I did a 24-hour reading vlog in which I read a good chunk of books. And honestly, June was my best reading month, not of the year, but definitely since the first quarter of the year. Because I think February was my best. I think I did was March pretty good? I think so. And then it just started going downhill very fast. And it's back to going downhill. For some knowledge, it is the 11th of July. And I have read 3 books so far this month. And 2 of those were rereads. One of which was very short. And the other one that isn't a reread is also very short. So, yeah, not much. And an issue is that a girl keeps on borrowing books from the library. And then going, okay, I'll read it later on. And then, the issue is that I borrowed them all either on the same day or, like, the same week. So I had, like, so many. I took a screen cap recording of my Libby shelf so you could, like, see. That will be up now. Other library books I have right now. The main one you may notice is the one that's due tomorrow. That's Jasmine Throne. I think it's like 540 pages. Whoops. I do have the audiobook. And I can go upwards to 5 times speed, but I don't think I'm going to do that. There we go. Even if it is 20 hours. I did think maybe I'm going to DNF it because it is giving me some weird vibes to a book I started to read. It was either March or April that I DNF'd. But I'll try not to because this is also the book club pick for the book club I run in June. In my defense, I didn't get the book until like 2 days before June was over from the library because the wait list is very long and I managed to get it early, right? So that's fine. That's fine. That's the one we will have to start with. I'm gonna do like 3.5 to 4 times speed, I'm assuming. Cause girl, I don't know if you know this. I've been doing this very large project where I've been going through my whole entire giant Goodreads TBR and slowly adding books from that into a Notion template I have to have a giant catalog of them in a way that I like how they're organized and easier for me to organize them for certain vlogs or whatnot. If I'm looking for a certain thing for vlogs, right? It's easier for me. Did I mention you're gonna have to deal with fans and ACs on? I don't care. It's hot. It's not even hot. It's humid. It's humid as fudge. So we're dealing with it. Where was I? Oh yeah, so this big project I've been working on for like a year now, and I only have, I can check this actually, Master View, because I also have all the books that like people I see on YouTube or BookTube or Bookstagram that I'm like, ooh, that seems interesting, but I don't want to immediately add it to my TBR. I put it in a special tab on here, as well as all the Kindle books I own that I haven't read, and all the physical books I own and haven't read. Because the Kindle ones, most of those aren't on my actual Goodreads TBR, right? So there's a big conglomeration of all of them. 435. I have 435 of just my Goodreads TBR. That is quick. It's 800 something. So I'm like halfway done. I've been working on a year. 882. And the only reason I'm this far in is because the first of every month is always a mess because I'm like doing all the end of the month posts and book club stuff and all this stuff, but I'm also putting in any book in the previous month that I put on my TBR on the Goodreads page or on the Notion page, right? So it's up to date of recent stuff. It's like number 487 I'm on. out of all these. I'm on page 20 out of 45 on my Goodreads TBR. It's fine. It's fine. Anyways, Plant-Based Bride uploaded a video where she was scanning every book in her physical TBR and adding it to her Notion tablet, or the same thing, basically, right? And apparently there's this must be new, because I searched when I started to do this a way to do it easier, and there was nothing. But now there is an extension where you just click on it and you tell it where to search specifically in a specific template, and tell you where to tell it where to put everything, and then it'll automatically do that for you. And so I've done that. I just spent like 30 minutes trying to figure it out, and I finally did. It is slightly complicated. I wish there was a video to explain it, but it's fine. It's fine. You can just like write 2 sentences to try to teach me how to do it. It's fine. I actually did just have to go back to watch her video to figure out what tab she was under, section she was under, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, I did that, and it works. So I think I'm just gonna listen to the Jasmine Thread as I do that. What are the chances I can do it all today? Like, I can finish it today, because like it's a lot. I would like to know. I am also in my Death Stranding mood again. Hyperfixation. In my defense, the second one just came out, which I can't play for like a year, but that's beside the point. I've been replaying the first one. I have not been doing the story. I've just been running around delivering packages and beating up people. My favorite things to do. I donate too many things. It's an issue. The good news is I think there's been a rise of people playing it again because the new one coming out. So because of that, people have been taking all the things I've been donating, so that's good. Because there was a thing where when I first played, there was like nobody else playing. Also, I yesterday built every road in the game. If you know anything, that's a feat. I don't know how I got all those ceramic medals, but I did. Anyways, the point of this is for me to get through all my library books. So sadly, no Brandon Sanderson. Because it's getting a bit much. I have not made progress in one of my main vlogs because a whole point of it is me reading Kindle Unlimited books. Actually, 2 of my main vlogs. Kind of 3. Because I either own the books already or they're on Kindle Unlimited, but I need to get through all my library books. So I haven't been like using my Kindle Unlimited to its full extent. I haven't been doing like all this shit. And it's kind of an issue. So we need to catch up. There's also like a bunch of these I've like started and then stopped and then had to return and then borrow. It's been a whole thing. So I'm going to start the timer. I am going to sleep during this one. I slept during the last one as well. Nobody complained because nobody watched, but that's beside the point. One still slightly going through health issues that I was going through last time. But also, it is summer, therefore it is haying season because I live on a farm. And we are confirmed haying tomorrow, which means I have to drive a truck full of hay through a field, which already stresses me out, but like doing that on no sleep is not a good idea, which is part of the reason why I started this at 12 p.m. at noon, because that gives me plenty of time to wake up and read more, because that was the main issue last time where I woke up later than planned, and then I just barely had enough time to finish the last book before the timer went off. So this way there will be 3 to 4 hours after I wake up to read. Bada bing, bada boom, that's that. I'm gonna press the button and then I'm gonna go do my Notion stuff. I'm really excited about this, actually. Who cares about Death Stranding? I get to catalog a bunch of books on Notion. That may be the nerdiest sentence ever said, but that's fine. There we go. Bada bing, bada boom. I'm gonna go read now. Oh, why I'm gonna be quiet because I'm pretty sure this sister is resting because her part has been bothering her, so I'm gonna be quiet and then we'll up in editing. It's fine. We're not gonna talk about how long this book took me. So you remember all that talking about upping it to 4 or 5 times speed? Yeah, I did it at 3. 3.5 for some of it, but most of it was 3. Or about half of it at least. I did finish the Notion project. I did do that. I'm very proud of myself. That made it much easier. And because there was like a few that I was deleting, because like I don't like dark sports romance, so why were there so many? Right? Or billionaire romances. So I went through and deleted some of them. But of course I had to make them in a separate list and then delete them after the fact because I had also delete them from Storygraph and Fable. 78 I deleted, so I'm at, the numbers are off. Storygraph and Fable and the Notion, I'll say 811 now because I just added the sequel to Jasmine Throne. But Goodreads says 806, so I don't know what those 5 extra are. You know, I was very worried until the Fable and the Notion matched up, and I just assumed, I actually didn't actually check the Storygraph, I just assumed that's Storygraph because I knew those numbers were slightly off, and I tried to go through every single book in my TBR to fix it, but maybe there's like 5 on the Notion and Fable that, because Fable's really complicated, because sometimes it just doesn't take it off the one from my TBR, it just takes a completely different edition, and as that is the version I'm currently reading. It's annoying. Anyways, I also find, you know that instance when you're at the bottom of the bottle and you just start pouring and you're like, there's not enough here to put the bottle back in the fridge, I might as well pour the rest of it in the glass, and then it's a deceiving amount. I'll probably only drink half of it tonight. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna read for the rest of the night, because it's gonna be at least another 3 hours before I sleep. I'll talk about that in a minute. I'll pull up Oblivion and talk about it in a minute. We should talk about Jasmine Throne. Here's the thing about the Jasmine Throne. The first half, I was loving. It was like 4.5 stars. I was having a great time. It was an experience. And then did I understand what was happening? Not really. Not really. But I was having a great time. It's about a princess and a servant. And the servant girl is secretly part of this like religious society kind of magical people, in which a bunch, like 20 of the children were burned alive like a decade prior, right? A decade or 2 prior. So she has secret magical powers. She is basically the princess learns about this and hires her as her personal servant slash bodyguard, because the princess was almost burnt alive by her own brother. The vibes I was getting, I'm pretty sure it like explained it in like actual reasons why he did it, right? Like he was a complete psychopath. Dude, my favorite part was throughout her childhood, he abused her, like literally sliced her and scalped her, and everyone was like, he feels bad, we swear, he feels bad about it, he just won't tell you that. And then all these years later, like 2 decades years later, she's talking to her other brother, and her other brother's like, what are you talking about, he hurt you as a child? The way I'd be so mad. She was mad. The fact she murdered him too. I'm waiting for her to girl boss her way to the top of the throne in the next one. I'm very excited. Anyways, yeah, no, so the reasoning explained in the book was that her and her personal confidant of woman were conspiring to make it so he wasn't going to become the king, and instead the other brother, the brother we like, the younger brother, who seems to be more about the religious priesthood type thing, right, make him the next thing instead of her abusive older brother, for valid reasons. He finds out burns all her friends alive and means to burn her alive as well. Except it doesn't work. But it's also slightly hinted at that part of the reason why is because she's a little. She's just, and that's why. And she's unclean. Anyways, so is her servant. Anyway, so she is now, because she can't be burnt alive, being basically stuffed into a rundown temple that all those kids were burned alive in, to just be locked up, kind of in a tower type thing. I hear Bella. Until she dies, and they're slowly poisoning her. And she starts a friendship with her servant. I can't remember their names. This is me we're talking about. Also, they're not English names, so the chances of me remembering / being able to pronounce them with that, no, we're not gonna even try. I know the princess's name starts with M, and the servant's name starts with P, so M and P. P, so she kind of manipulates P to help her out, but also at the same time she's also like, but actually I also was into you. P is dealing with her brother, like not actually her brother. I was confused about this for a while, where the other members of the magical religious group, they're all siblings, but not siblings by blood. I thought he was her brother by blood. No, just in the hierarchy or whatever of the system. He is searching for this magic water that she's the only one who can find, to try to survive, and with it he will use the power he will get from using that water to end the whole entire kingdom, basically, of this area, the way that they control the area. They keep on just burning girls alive just because they can and whatnot. So she's trying to like be like, oh my god, my brother's alive, there's somebody else from this community who's alive, while also being like, oh my god, he's kind of evil. While also having crush on a girl who is also a little evil, but also like in a girl boss way, right? Who is also dealing with the fact that her brother's evil and her other brother doesn't want the throne. And yeah, that's basically the moral of the story. Anyways, first half I was living my best life. Once they left the temple is when it stopped being as enjoyable for me, because I understood even less than I did already. Part of that also has to do with the fact that maybe because I took a break like halfway through to wash my hair, so maybe that's why the second half wasn't as good. That being said, I did enjoy it still. I'm giving it 4 stars. It was a good time. I did immediately put the next one on hold because I think this will be a series that will benefit if I read them as close together as possible. I'm sweating. I turned off my fan for this. Alright. Now, I'm looking at Libby. Undistracted. A self-help nonfiction. Don't ask. I could finish it and then go to bed. It's 6 hours. Every time speed. This is in order of when they're due, right? But I don't want to, and I can renew it, so I'm just gonna renew it. Alright. Now, the next one is Come Tumbling Down, which is another short one. And I can't renew it. But I kind of don't want to read that right now. I also could do Yerba Buena, which is also pretty short, of an audiobook. It's also gay. I may do that one tomorrow, honestly. Tomorrow morning. Because the one I really want to do is Lover Avenged. Yes, the Vampire Spot. Yes, listen, I do know that the Passionflix show came out. I did look at stills from it, like, you know, the stills of like the thumbnail kind of an episode on Passionflix, and I started laughing. I just started laughing just looking at those. I'll watch it at some point. Oh, this is Revenges. Okay. So I accidentally spoiled myself with some stuff of some of the empath things in this one earlier. When I was reading the last one, the previous one. This is book 7. Yes, 7. In the series. When book 6, listen, I gotta get going because in like book 13 or 14 there is actually gay romance, I'm pretty sure. So I gotta get going. I gotta read this so I can get to that one. I'm excited for that one. I get what people meant when they said like after book 5 it starts leaning away from the urban fantasy romance and just towards the fantasy aspect. That's romance. I get it. There was like no romance, 2 minutes of romance in the previous one. You don't need to have lots of opinions. Anyways, this is also going to be more setup of the next one, which I'm more excited for. But I do know some of Revenge's sympathized stuff because I accidentally spoiled myself, which is I'm gonna assume a lot of the dark aspect. So I'm not gonna act surprised when I know, because I know the things. So I'm just gonna go and know that he is being forced to have relations with his sister, who is married to their uncle. Sympaths are like kind of like vampires, but they can control like people's emotions and minds, and they're more dangerous, and the sexual aspect of their race is much darker, especially when it comes to consent. They don't know what that is. So that's like a whole thing where he's dealing with that. But also there's like a whole thing where he has to take a drug to suppress that side of himself 90% of the time, and he's starting to have side effects, and so he had to go to the doctor for that. And a nurse who was taking care of him, yeah, he's into her. That's what I know about this one. I also know the next one in the series is about the kid John. I say kid, he's like 25. That we've been following since like book 2, and Rev's secondhand person, Zex, something like that. It's like ZXHEV, I think. Anyways, they did sleep together at the end of the book 6, and I did freak out. I did. Haha. One, we're proud of him for dealing with his trauma in a smart adult way. Oh my god, we're so proud of him. And also being there for his friends when they're going through the gay stuff in the future book, but so I'm kind of into the relationship. I've seen things where people don't like it, but I'm having a good time, and so I think I'm the outsider on this one. Anyways, to read that one after read this one, so it's long. I know it's gonna be over 500 pages, so I'm just gonna start it, lay in bed, sip my wine, read until I'm falling asleep. I'll wake up, tell you how far I got, or before I go to sleep I'll probably update you, and then I'll read that audiobook tomorrow morning. The end. Not many books for this one that I'm reading. In my defense, I'm doing one of the longest books on my TBR. Whoops. It's hot and sticky, and I turned off my fans right there, so we'll do this fast. I only read 20 pages of Love for Revenge last night. Why is it 720 pages? Who do that to me personally? Why? So that's gonna be one I'm gonna be making slow progress in. I did read the first 2 chapters, 20 pages, and then I fall asleep fast, so I just went to bed. Woke up pretty early this morning, early for me, and opened up Yerba Buena immediately. It's a plant apparently. Thank you, Libby, on my iPad for telling me you're updating audiobook player. Please wait. I wanted to see how much 10% was before I DNF'd it. Hear me out. The person I am, don't want to read about as far as I know, lesbian, teenager. How far is this? 46 minutes. Okay. Lesbian teenager. Because the only relationship we know about her having is with another woman or another teenage girl. And she has in her POV in her head stated that she does not like being noticed by men. Right? So I'm gonna go with most likely lesbian woman, teenager, 16 years old, being forced to have sex with a man. I guess he's a teenage boy, but still. He's 16, I think, as well, 16, 17. For money to get out of town the day after her girlfriend dies. I don't want to read that. Believe it or not, that is not something I would enjoy reading. And then I reread the synopsis, which is apparently her, and then it's like starts out at like two sides of the country, and her and the other main character end up in the same city eventually. It's been some amount of time. She is working as a bartender. The other one works as a florist at a restaurant, fancy restaurant, which is the name of the book as well, and he's having an affair with the owner of the restaurant, and then they start an affair. None of that sounds like something I would enjoy reading. Hear me out. I don't like cheating. I don't know why I picked it up. I honestly don't. I think it was just because it was labeled as a queer book that was available in my library. That's why. So I'm DNFing it, and that is what we shall do. I've decided instead I have what, like 2.5 hours? Was that what that was? I think, because I was worried about reading that and trying to figure out what to read afterwards, how much time I would have. No, it's 3 hours I've left. How much time I would have left to read something. I was like, do I just continue Love Revenge? Like, I want to read another book. Having started Vampire Smut, read a pretty long book. I don't know why I decided to do the 2 longest books on this list. And then something, and an audiobook. I was like, I need to read something else, right? And the original plan, if I finished that book, I would have finished, or I would have read the sequel to Binti, the second book in the Binti series. I think there's 3. Instead, because there's 3 hours, I'm gonna read Come Tumbling Down, the 5th in the Wayward Children series. It has been a while. I don't remember what this one's about. Should I check? I'll do that live on camera. And doesn't make sense. It's the one that's due in 2 days. I gotta read it. I kind of gotta read it. Oh, okay. So this is the one that I think the second one left hanging. Is that right? About Jack and Jill. Yeah, I think the second one is also about them. I'll check that. I would say so, because yeah. Second one, Down Among the Sticks and Bones, is about Jack and Jill's past, right? And I remember when I read it, I was like, I wish it was more about like what happened after the first book, because I was more intrigued by that, but like I still get it, it's still good. I see what she did here, but I would have preferred that. This one is the aftermath. It's taking stuff we learned about the second one, about their past in the second one, and the ending of the first one, and continuing from there. And apparently, there may be the amnesia trip. I don't know how I feel about that. She returns back to the school after everything, and something has happened to her, because they're mad scientists there. It's like very Frankenstein is half of it. Half of the Moors. So, and I do love Frankenstein. So, that is the thing that is happening over there. right? I will go read that. And as that, I gotta update my tracker for Yerba Buena and all that stuff. But I'll do that in a minute. And that is the update. I DNF'd a book and read 20 pages of another book. I'm not doing great. I read one very large book. I say very large. I read one mildly pretty good sized book. And that's about it. So I'm gonna go read a short book. Hello, I'm dying of allergies. So if you see my eyes being red, no you don't. Anyways, I'll just hold this. Did I pause the timer in order to finish Come Tumbling Down in This Fog? Yes. But I slept. So what even it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's for like less than an hour. Come Tumbling Down, I immediately put the next one on hold. I am worried. Because the next one is about a whole new cast of characters. And if there's one thing I've learned about this series, it's when that happens is when I don't like it. Right? Case in point, this is my favorite one since the first one. And with that, we're done. Easy beautiful color girl. You know, this is my favorite one since I read the first one. I read both of 4.5 stars. I don't know which one I like more. But this one was the first one that, like, gave me the same feelings as the first one, even better. Like, the reading of it was despite death being a constant throughout the whole entire book, it was like a good time. Second one I liked, and the third and fourth one I felt very mad about. And those ones are when, especially, I don't remember, one of them is about a goblin market. I remember this because I had recently read a different book about a goblin market, and I would seriously back to back. And I didn't like either one of them that much. And then the other one is about bringing back a character from the first book back alive because her granddaughter is all like, hey, I'm disappearing from the world of this same doorway because my grandmother died. I'm here to bring her back to life, right? That one I liked a little more because we got to see the cast of characters that we've known and like so far going through all these different worlds, and that was a little fun. But both of them were 3 stars. I did not like them that much. This one follows same characters from the first one for the most part. The obvious one because she left end of book 1, right? And Jack does not have amnesia. What happened is that her sister couldn't be turned into a vampire anymore because of things that happened in book 1. Because I forgot this was not only Frankenstein world, but it was also Dracula world. It's basically old-timey horror movie world, right? And so because she was already dead and brought back to life because Frankenstein science, she couldn't become a vampire anymore, which is what her great desire was. So she switched bodies with Jack in order to be able to use her body and become a vampire. That was the whole thing. So it was basically them going back to that world, trying to get Jack's body back. Dealing with the one thing I really like about this is that the mental health aspect of that, because Jack has OCD, but also on top of that, the idea of being in somebody else's body, let alone a body who killed multiple people, including her fiance, like Jack's fiance, Jill killed, and she was in Jill's body. And so, you know, and there's like one point where she brought up like she didn't actively do it herself, but her hands remember the motions of killing her fiance, her betrothed, the love of her life, in the skin that she is wearing. So like it was this whole thing, and the whole mental health aspect of being in somebody else's body, and the fact that the main friendship, I guess there was the character that was brought back from book 1 that I'm not gonna say who is. Listen, here's the thing. In all the other ones she was in, I wasn't the biggest fan of her, but I did like her in this one. I think her paired with Jack is actually really good because they play off of each other really well, right? And I like Christopher. I want to see more of Christopher. Cora, who is from the one where they brought back that character, she was fine. She didn't do much in this one. The other one that Jack plays off a lot really well is Cade, who is more of the adult among all the children, right? He's eventually going to take over the school, which seems to be coming faster sooner rather than later, because his great aunt, I think is who she is, who runs the school, is starting to go a little kooky, which is known to be a thing that's gonna happen. She like comes from a world of nonsense and childishness and whatever, so eventually she will lose her mind, and that's when she will be able to go back there, right? And so she's like been waiting for the day, but that means that Kate's gonna have to step up sooner rather than later. And he's stressing about that. But the whole aspect of Jack being stuck in her sister's body and the wrongness of that is played a little bit with the fact that Kate is trans. So that's like a whole thing that's happening there. So that's fun. That's fun. Anyways, I liked Jack's relationship with her fiance. She was cool. That it was really sweet. Like the character, you expect Jack not to have like the happily ever after, right? But she does. It makes you think that is her fiance in the parallels of old horror movies, Frankenstein's Bride, because she has been brought back to life twice. And she's like Frankenstein. Is that what's happening here? Is that I don't know. Anyways, it was good. I am scared for the next one. I think that's like a thing where they flip and flop between being connected to the overall story with the cast of characters that we know current day and new characters in the past usually and whatnot. And the next one has kelpies and centaurs, I think. So that's interesting. Anyways, I gave it 4.5 stars to the winner of this vlog. Sorry, Jasmine Thread. And that's that. That's the end of this vlog. I read 2 books. DNF'd another one. So I guess that's like a benefit. I DNF'd one that's been on and off my Libby holds for at least a month. And also started a very long monster. I don't know why. It's 720 pages. It just seems to be my edition, because normally the normal amount is like 520 something or something like that, the normal amount for these books, but mine's 720 and I don't like that. Don't worry, I got plenty more library books to read. We don't need to talk about it. I also should mention that I am, for holds, I have like, what, 22, 21 loans now. I also have a completely full amount of holds for both library cards. So that's 40. 30 on one, 10 on another. We don't need to worry about that. I'm kind of tired. I'm kind of lazy because it's hot. So I think I'm done with reading for the day. But I read a whole book. So we're going with it. I'm going to go to watch YouTube because I haven't done it in so long. It's so weird. Thank you for coming to this vlog. Will I do one of these again? Maybe. This may become a regular thing. Especially if I'm sleeping during them. It may become a regular thing because it just forces me to sit down and read for a good amount of time and get all my reading out of the way. So I'm thinking maybe doing this the first week of every month. At least. That's a thing. Me closing out, thank you for coming to this vlog. Wednesdays we have all Twitch streams of me gaming. So stay tuned for those. And Saturdays is booktube videos, so these vlogs, but also read with me's when, you know, a girl procrastinates reading for all her other vlogs because she has too many library books too soon, and so she hasn't been filming for any of her 16 vlogs that are going on at the same time. And that's that. I'm gonna go watch YouTube. I feel like I'm going crazy. And I slept during this one. I don't know. Until the next video.